Difficult people are present in almost every social circumstance. However, there are ways that you can deal with these difficult people, and I'm going to show those ways to you all today. So, this isn't really a way, but it's more of a mindset, right? So, be aware that one's negative comments towards you, the negative comments from a difficult person towards you, are not a reflection of you, but rather it's a reflection of themselves and their own insecurities. That's the reason why bullies exist, for instance, right? Because it's not that the bully like genuinely thinks that, like you're like a loser or that like you're not cool or whatever they may say, right? It's because the bully thinks that of themselves and they're self-projecting onto others because they don't have a feeling of self-worth, right? So they feel the need to bring others down in an attempt to, like boost themselves up, right? To make themselves feel better. And the thing is that they try to provide themselves with a false notion of like confidence, like a false notion of security by, kind of like being rude to other people, right? And the issue isn't with you. That's what you need to keep in mind. The issue isn't usually with you, but it's with the difficult person. Because the difficult person, again, is self-projecting onto you, and the reason why they're making negative comments is because of their own insecurities, not because of something that you are doing wrong. So, because comments from difficult people are reflections of their own insecurities, try not to take these comments personally. And I know if it's easier said than done, right? But just keep in mind, if you keep in mind that, it's a reflection of who they are, right? It's a reflection of their own insecurities, the difficult person's insecurities, if they, like are rude to you, right? Or like bullies, like if they bully you, right? The bullying is indicative of their insecurities, right? And don't take it personally. Try not to take it personally if they say these things to you, because the issue isn't with you. It's within themselves. It just so happens that a coping mechanism for them, right? Albeit like a bad one, but a coping mechanism for them is to make other people feel worse, to try to make themselves feel better, right? So instead of thinking that they're right about what they're saying, right? Like, for example, if they say, oh, like you'll never do anything good in life, or oh, you're a failure, oh this, oh that. View the negative comments as they are, a reflection of that individual's insecurities. And instead of like bringing yourself down, think, like I don't have to be bothered with this person, right? Because they're insecure, right? They're probably dealing with something on their own that's not reflective of who I am. Their comments aren't reflective or do not reflect who I am, but rather, it's just showing their insecurities. So not taking it personally is very important. Again, it's easier said than done, but once you see that, like, it doesn't highlight, who you are, right? If someone says, like you're a failure, you're this or that, they think they're a failure, right? Oftentimes, right? Or they just have their own insecurities. That's why they say it to you. So if you are hurt about what someone has said to you, try talking to someone and express how you feel. Like, for example, like, like your homie, like your friend, you're like a loved family member, right? Like just people like that, like have like a support group around you, like have good supportive people around you. So that way they can talk to you and then, like they can empathize with you and like understand where you're coming from, right? So that way it doesn't feel like you're being like beat up by this person and then, like you have no one to talk to about it. So just having like support, like additional social support, right? When you're in a situation like that is super important, right? Like you could just, for example, let's say if you have a sibling, right? Like an older sibling, you can like talk to them and say, hey man, like what do I do in this situation? You can ask for advice potentially. You could say, hey, this is what happened. Like, what would you do or what do you think? And through that empathy, you feel better because you feel like, or not even you feel like, it's like your issues are understood by the other person. And once you gain that empathy, you'll gain the assurance, or like you'll reaffirm that the issue is with the difficult person and not with you. So the thing is that, for example, right, in video games and online, especially not just in video games, but online in general, like on social media, for example, people say like a lot of stupid things, and the reason why they say it is because there's anonymity there. And I won't get too deep into social media, but the point I'm trying to make is that regardless of the platform, right? Regardless if it's social media or like online, right? Or real life, these issues happen. And it's important to know that regardless of where the situation is and regardless of who is saying it, oftentimes, not every single time, but oftentimes, right? Especially if these negative comments like keep occurring, right? And the people are just like difficult, like they have like a really mean tone to them. You know, it's like they have like a negative kind of like character, and you can sense that the issues with them, and they're projecting their own insecurities onto you, and they want you to feel insecure, so that way they feel like, you know, like they're not alone, right? And although it's a bad coping mechanism, that's what they use as a coping mechanism, right? Again, that's why bullies exist. And that's why it's important to keep in mind that, you know, regardless of what they say, don't listen to them, because what they're saying stems from their own insecurities. So, yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. We evolve together, man. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay awesome. I love you all. I stream on Twitch sometimes, you know, twitch.tv/snapbc / that's SNAPBEASTY. You know, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The notification bell is like shaded in. It's either like black or blue, typically, you know, like based on whether someone's on mobile or PC. You know, when it has like these squiggles around it showing that the bell's ringing. You know, and yeah, man, we evolve together, you know. We grow every day, and that's the thing with self-development. It's not just one thing. It's not just for like 1 year. It's continuous. So yeah, man, I love making these videos. Please leave in the comments, you know, if you guys want to see some other videos. You know, I love hearing suggestions, and yeah, guys, I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.